Hey guys, thanks for checking out the Bucked Up Podcast. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like and subscribe button, we have new episodes coming out every Monday and Thursday. Let's get into it.
It was at this moment that he knew.
He bucked up.
Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you have fucked up.
I was really honored when you reached out because, as I said, I have been a fan for like a really long time, man.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. No, I appreciate that, man. No, thank you for having me.
Of course. Where is that out? Where is How to Tame a Lion? I couldn't find it anywhere.
Do you know what? I took it off all the streaming services. I just thought, you know what? I took a bunch of shit off all the streaming services recently, just because I thought it was a bit old. So yeah. But bro, if you need a copy, I'll send it you. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it. That's so funny that you see that as like old, because that to me is like a classic album
That's crazy. What year was that? I think it was like 2014 or something.
Yeah,
Maybe.
2014.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I think like anything from about 2016, before 2016, I kind of took off. But yeah, so I've been speaking to Tough Kong recently, actually, and I'm actually doing the second How to Tame Lions with Leaf Dog. So we're doing a volume 2. We're about 7 or 8 songs in already. And I was going to put that out with Tough Kong, and I was going to actually get them to speak to them about doing a reissue and doing the first one on vinyl. So yeah, it should see.
That's what about your music post 20? I mean, that's when Butted Malbec came out. But why is that stuff like too old to you?
You know what? I just thought it didn't represent me in the right light. I just sound like a different artist. That's why.
Okay. Because I remember when I first heard that. That's before. I'm a stand-up comedian. I have no like basis in rap music other than it just kind of the podcast taking off. But I would just dig and find artists. And when I found you, I was like, damn, this is a different sound than anything I had heard.
Yeah. I mean, that one I was like in between shall I not? But most of the other shit, it was just like, I think, you know, when I did the Lions joint, that was more so like kind of like the transition of the artist that I am now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was like
get to that,
bro. I mean, you know what? I think like the sound of like the rap music that I was listening to was changing, and I just got influenced by, I think, just the sound of music then. Do you know what I mean? And that's how I started kind of like changing my sound and just tailoring it different. You know what I mean?
No, I do feel it. It's funny because I was did you produce that album, How to Tame a Lion?
No. It was a guy called Leaf Dog.
Oh, so he's producing the second one too. All right.
Yeah.
Because there's not many interviews I feel like that I could find of you out, and I was watching one and they were saying that you produced just because like you couldn't really, you know, get what you wanted out of producers. So that's why I was wondering, because I was like, damn, because now you're like a known producer producing for so many huge artists. You just had the album with Dash come out and everything.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I didn't start really producing till maybe. I mean, I produced some of Malbec, but it was after I produced Malbec. It was really the purist who was like, "Yo, you just need to start doing your own beats. You're sitting on all these beats anyway, and like you do this and that. Why don't you just start producing for people?" So it was really him that kind of just put the battery in my back for that.
Yeah. So what did you were saying that the sound of music that you were listening to changed, and then that changed?
I mean, to be honest, bro, I think it was around the time like you know, I like a lot of people who are doing it now, and you know, the influence. It was kind of the time when, you know, Rock was dropping Reloaded and all that sort of shit, and like, you know, he influenced a whole bunch of us. Do you know what I mean? And that kind of just made me go, you know, let me fuck with this sort of sound. And also, like, I like, you know, chopping up just like looping shit. Do you know what I mean? I'm not really an MP guy, and like, you know,
No,
I'm
but
just
you have a great ear for samples. Like you always pick some crazy shit.
yeah. Well, like how it started was I was just the beats that I make mostly, especially back then when I was making, I was like, yo, I'm making it. Can I rap on it? Would I sound good rapping on it? Shit, if I sound good rapping on it, then someone else will sound good rapping on it. So that was where that came from, really.
And it's funny because Malbec, you have Heem on there and West Side Gun, which I even when that came out, I was like, damn, that's the craziest combo of features on the album because I've had Kool AD on the podcast. I love Das Racist.
Yeah.
And I've had Conway on, like I love Griselda. So
Yeah. So like, I mean, West Side Gun, he hadn't really done many features at that time.
oh, he hadn't.
So like I had the link to him because Dope was putting out all his shit, and they're my guys. So I had the link to West Side Gun through that. Heems was always around. Like when he used to come to England, he used to come and check me and whatever. So I knew him from before, and we'd always talked about doing some records. So that was a deal with him. I had Quelle Chris on there.
Yeah, shout out. His new album was great. Shout out Quelle Chris.
He's in London right now. Actually, he's doing a show with my boy NTS Radio later on today. I just spoke to him earlier today, and he was saying, so yeah, I'm trying to get some more working with Quelle as well. Who else did I have on there? I had Dash on there. Yeah, Dash was on there as well. Yeah. So it's all kind of coming back full circle.
Total. So you were rapping, of course, before that, but in 2016 you started to take yourself like more seriously as an artist, you'd say?
Yeah, I mean, in 2016, I put out the Malbec joint with Dope, and the shit sold out on day one, and that kind of made me go, all right, cool, I'm gonna just try this, full time. And I've been doing music full time since then. Before that, like I was just juggling like a bunch of different things I was doing.
Yeah, but it must take a lot to get to that point, to get to a point to sell out a record day one. I mean, look at the features you had on there, look at the quality of that. And that's why I'm saying, like, I was a fan 2 years before that, so that's why I'm like, oh shit, that's because I'm like obsessed with the idea of when someone like makes the decision in their life to like take what they're doing seriously,
Yeah, I mean, bro, I took it serious, but I wasn't so sure that that I'll be able to earn a living out of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's really what it was. Like, I took the shit serious from like, I put my first record out in 2005. So that's like,
that's
nearly 20 years ago or whatever. So,
but people don't want to put in that effort,
Yeah. No, I always wanted to do this. You know what I mean? This was the long term goal, but I just didn't think it was possible until I put out the Malbec record and it sold out, and I was like, all right, cool.
And that's 11 years after your first project.
Yeah.
Did you think it was gonna take that long to like be?
I didn't know. Even I didn't think it was going to happen. I just thought, I'm just going to carry on doing this. I didn't think this was going to happen. You know what I mean? I never, because especially where I'm from, and especially where UK rap music was, and the lane that I was in, and all that. I didn't think that I'd be able to do this. On this scale, because it just wasn't. It's just not really. It's not even really the done thing. Do you know what I mean? I know now that the doors are a lot more open. And especially with different genres of music and culture, crossing over each other and all that shit. So, now there's a lot more going on, and, a lot more opportunities. But where I'm from and where I come up there wasn't like these sort of opportunities. And this wasn't a realistic thing that happens to people like me. You know what I mean?
But in the back of your, I mean, I do totally know what you
in the back of my head. I thought,
must have been a voice that kept you going. That
because I knew I was nice, so I was like, yo, one day, like but also like when I decided to do it full time, and I started just making a lot more records, what I realized was, if you do something every single day, you just get better and better at it. And when I wasn't doing it full time, it was like, I'd go studio a couple of times a week, and when the records would happen, they would happen. I didn't really have a team behind me. I had a bunch of guys with me, but we were all just on the same journey and the same sort of level of experience, as it were. So once I went full time and got a bunch of people around me, it was just makes it easier, innit?
What did you think you were going to be doing? Like, if you go back to 2005 and you look to where you're at right now, like, what did you think it was going to be, your future?
Shit, I just thought I was going to be working. I always had so before I was doing this, I had my own business. So I used to be like, I was in property. I used to buy houses, do them up, rent them out, flats, flip them. I was just doing that, and the money was cool as well. So it wasn't really crazy motivation for me to go and start doing music, because I was just doing this other shit, and I was good, but really, I didn't want to be doing that. I never wanted to be doing that. It was just something that I kind of fell into.
And you were saying that, like, just going more and like take it, because you started a business and I haven't, so I don't know, but I'm guessing you're not making money right off the bat when you're starting. Of course, you have to invest a lot into it,
man.
And hopefully the returns come back. And people don't think about that. People even think with me, like, when I travel, I'm getting paid for it, when really it's out of pocket. Like, I'm just doing it to try to get more opportunities.
Bro, I don't even know how true it is, but I just read something yesterday on the gram. And it was like DJ Khaled basically saying he didn't really make a hit record till he was 40. And he was saying up until he was about 40, he was just working for free.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? And that's like, obviously that's a different type of level, but it is crazy, but even now I still do a bunch of shit for free, just A, for the opportunity, and B, because, it is what it is, especially like with some people that I work with who are on the come up and all that. I don't be like pressing them for crazy money, because I know that, it's all about like building relationships as well, isn't it? Like, a lot of the relationships I was building back then, some of the people are still with me now and they're doing major things. So, it might not, the relationship and or the what you're getting out of it might not be what you want at the start, but
it all pays off. And you shouldn't, like, it's just cool to be able to build your network of people and work. Like,
yeah, man.
Like, people offer me money to come on the podcast, but I turn it down because I don't like their music.
Yeah.
I only want to talk to people that I want to talk to, or
that
people
will reflect,
that I like.
Man. That will reflect, because you know what, when you're looking at your podcast now in 10 years time, and you look back on all the earlier shit, you'll be able to look back at it proudly. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to look back at it like, shit, I did it how I wanted to do it. You know what I mean?
And I say all that to say that's how I see you, because I've listened to all your projects since I became a fan of you. But it's now I went back and I re-listened to the ones I hadn't listened to in a long time, or just, and I was like, oh, you really, I feel like, cared about the craft and what you were releasing. There isn't a lot of bullshit.
Man. You hit the nail on the head, bro. You're 100% right. It was really all about the music, because you know what, I never even really tried to do any other shit like as far as even the music. Like, I'm not saying I could have had a commercial record or whatever, but I never even tried to do none of that shit, because I didn't really. This is what I wanted to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just I'm just lucky, not lucky, but because it was a lot of hard work, but I'm lucky to be in a position where it's paid off.
And it should, if you have the kind of blind faith in what you're doing, or you listen to that voice in the back of your head that tells you, no, if you just cut through the bullshit, you actually can make it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I did have blind faith. I always knew somehow, some way it will be okay. But, it really took up until I dropped Malbec for me to have for me to have non-blind faith. Up until then, it was blind faith.
Yeah.
Once I dropped that, and I realized, I sold what we sold like 500 records in an hour. And I was like, okay, cool. If that means the market's out there, and from then I was just like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna work.
What was that feeling like? Because you said you didn't expect it to sell out like that. When you saw it, what was?
Bro, I mean, it just restored my faith in what I was doing, because I kind of like, maybe if Malbec hadn't gone well, I would have possibly not been releasing records now. If that had been a flop, I possibly would have just like, I would be a lot less active, maybe like one record a year or something like that.
Did you think it was going to flop?
I don't know, because up until then, my records had just been like, moving slowly, and yeah, I didn't really know. I didn't think it was going to flop, but I didn't know it was going to go so well. And once it did go so well, that just made me go, okay, cool. You know what? I'm going to do this.
And it is funny because that goes to the like, you had Dash on that record and you just put out a full project with him. And it's
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, shit
that's
comes
6 years,
circle.
6 years ago.
6 years ago. So, yeah.
What this is such a weird question, but it goes into the blind faith thing. Are you into psychedelics? I know you rap a little bit about it, but I didn't know.
Funnily enough, I done some microdosing this morning. I've been microdosing recently for the last couple of weeks. But yeah, I fuck with psychedelics. Yeah.
Tell me about the microdosing, because I've done it, but not at a consistent level. I'm more of like, I don't know, take 2 grams, Yeah.
No, I mean, I like to get like super wavy. It's not just that I microdose. Only started microdosing maybe about 2 weeks ago, and it's been cool. It's like, you know what? You can't even really feel it, but something's there. And for me, it kind of just like, makes me less mad at the world. if I'm microdosing, I'm never in a bad mood. That's what it is. Yeah, if I microdose, I don't really get in a bad mood or get angry.
How much do you take?
Do you know what? I don't even know how much the microdose is. So basically, my brother, my younger brother, he was microdosing. He was telling me, "Yo, you need to do it." So I got me and my girl on it, but he just like, he gets them off the dark web or whatever. But he just got me like these little capsules, and he was like, take between 3 and 5 of them per microdose, and I'd do it for like 2 days, and then the third day off. Then I'd do another 2 days, third day off. But yeah, I find as well, like if I've been going crazy, like been out 3 days without no sleep or whatever, just been running around doing mad shit. If I'm like, when I go sleep and wake up the next day, you feel like shit. Pop a few of them and you're good, man. You don't have no hangover, no nothing. Life is good. Yeah,
that's actually. You know what? I might have to try that, because my schedule has been crazy recently. Like I literally just got back from a festival last night, and then it's only 10:30 in the morning this morning.
Bro. If you'd popped a few of them, you'd be like, yo, like when you've got a hangover when you've been out drinking all night, and the next morning you wake up fucked, and it takes you, especially like older you get, it takes you a day to just fucking recover. With this shit, you forget that you was out drinking last night.
The last trip I took, it was like, I don't have bad trips, but it was like, in quotation, you know what I mean? There's no bad trips, because you always learn something. You
ever had a bad trip?
Not really. I was in New York City, and I took maybe like 3 grams or something, nothing crazy. And I went to a comedy show, and I started getting like, hot, and you're like, and I just walked around New York and thought about life for like 4 hours. I was like, damn, I've never had like shit like that. So I took a little bit of a break.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I was
Yeah.
going ham for a little bit.
Yeah.
You said, is it harder to get over there? Because I feel like, I mean, we don't have to.
No, no. I mean, no, I'll talk about whatever, bro. Don't worry about that shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's not hard to get. No, it's not hard to get. Oh, I could probably get some shit sent over to you.
Because it's crazy that like, and I'm from Massachusetts, and like part of Boston, like part of the city is legalizing mushrooms. So like it's
wow.
in like part of the state. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah, man.
Because it helps a lot. The blind faith thing, that was a long time ago in the conversation, but I went through a DMT trip and that gave me this like blind faith that ended up paying off. And I was wondering if you had ever done that.
I done DMT. The first time I smoked DMT was I was on tour in Australia, and this is like going back. I think it was like 2010. So I was on tour in Australia, and we went to. I went onto a radio show there. And afterwards, like this kid came up to me at the show, at the radio station, I think, and he was like, yo, I heard you talking about bad drugs in your raps, blah, blah, blah. Yo, if you need anything, I got you. So I was like, yo, can you get blah, blah, blah? And he was like, he was going through a list of shit that he can get. And he went, DMT. And I went, yo, you can get DMT. And he went, yeah, I can get DMT because you know, like I already knew about this shit. One of my cousins, we used to do a lot of we used to make a lot of mushroom tea, and we used to do shrooms like that. But he always used to say to me, it's like, yo, if you come across mushroom DMT, take it. They used to call it the businessman's acid because it only lasts for half an hour or whatever, innit? The businessman
minutes.
Yeah. So they used to call it the businessman's acid. So like he was like, yo, if you ever find anyone with DMT, take that shit. So as soon as he said it, I was like, oh boy, you can get DMT. And he was like, yeah, cool. So he next day I went to link him the next day, and I went to his boy's yard. Onto his boy's yard now. His boy's like this crazy like shaman. He's just come back from the Amazonian rainforest, and he's like, and I was young then. I was like, yo, DMT shit, man. I was like, oh, is this shit like crack? Am I gonna be like tweaking out? But then I was like, fuck it, I'll just do it. And yeah, it was a great experience, man. It was a great experience.
You broke. You know through?
What? Yeah, I broke through. I broke through on the first hit. Bro. And I came back home like wanting to tell everyone about DMT. I wanted to tell all my friends. I was like, yo, you need to try this shit. But yeah, it showed me how go on.
No, what were you saying?
It showed me how strong like the whole world of psychedelics are, because up until then, I'd done some shit, but doing that DMT then was like, yo, there's a whole next world out there, and you got to be careful where you tread.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. The first time I did it, I broke through Shaman and all, and it changed a lot of shit for me. Like it made me like take myself seriously, because even for people who aren't, I talk about how like I had like a spiritual experience, but even if it's not, it's like a near-death experience kind of, and it like changes your perspective on it. But you're right. I wanted to tell everyone about it for like a year. And then I don't know, it doesn't wear off, but then you're like, damn, half these people think I'm a crazy person.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's true. Yo, but like when I was telling people all these, and this was back in, 13, 14 years ago. Now fucking everyone's doing it.
Yeah. It's like popular. Like you hear like celebrities say they
bro.
do like...
I got friends that make that shit.
Yeah.
My boy I just put out like, he was telling me how, I can't even remember how he does it, but he was just telling me exactly how to make it. He was like, Sonny, it's easy. I was like, yo, yeah, maybe, but everyone like, I seen someone at a show the other day, they were smoking DMT in a vape pen.
The last time I did it, I was at you know who Danny Brown is?
The rapper, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So he has this big like festival on Thanksgiving in the United States. It's like Danny Brown's Bruiser Thanksgiving. And
Okay.
I was invited to go out, and there was this dude who had a DMT pen, and I was already on like an eighth of mushrooms.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, I can do fucking DMT with Danny Brown right now. I'll
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
But when
You
do
hit it, yeah?
but when you
Yeah.
do it at a concert, like in a pen, it's funny. My boy was like, "You're about to feel great," and then the come down's horrible.
Oh,
I
really?
never had a bad come down from it, but that come down, you felt like existential. Like, what am I doing here? What's going on? It was so
Yeah.
funny. And
Yeah,
Danny
that's
ended up like
crazy.
forgetting some of his lyrics because he was coming down from it.
Bro, you know, like when I hear about, people doing mushrooms and doing all sorts of drugs and then going and rapping, I'm like, how the fuck do they remember shit? Because I find it difficult just to remember lyrics when I'm doing live shows. Anyway, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be plugged in properly to like remember the shit. But when motherfuckers be on mushrooms, I'm like, how do they remember them lyrics, man?
Do you see people are always like, you think, I don't know, I would think comedians smoked like rappers smoke. I smoke a lot of weed. I can't because I'm in the studio right now.
Yeah.
But like right before I smoked a fucking it's a gram and a half joint. But people are like, how do you smoke before you go on stage? And it's like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter to me. That's just a
Yeah,
normal.
no, I mean, when it's something like weed is just I smoke a lot too, so I smoke first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
So weed don't really make no difference. Even I can be like I have a few drinks, whatever, but if it was psychedelics, I don't know how I'd remember my lyrics.
Have
Maybe
you
I
ever
should just
had
try it once.
Yeah. I've
Well,
done stand up. I hosted I got booked to do this like arts and music festival host. And then I got there and it turned out it was a hallucinogen festival.
Wow. Okay.
So like I had to host the whole festival like tripping and shit. And that was
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's if any time you can do it, that's the time, isn't it?
it feels good until
Yeah.
the silence. The silence just feels really
Yeah.
long, you know?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a bad trip? You asked me.
So I only had a bad trip once, but I don't even know how bad of a trip it was. So I was in Amsterdam and we bought some fucking it's not what a philosopher's is it philosopher's stone.
Yeah.
So they got these little truffles called philosopher's stone there, the mushroom truffles. And we bought a bunch of them, me and my two mates, and I remember walking around Amsterdam going, oh, I want to buy some new shoes. So I bought I remembered a pair of Nike Wally Waffles and I put them on. And so I'm walking around Amsterdam. We're just chilling. Anyway, when we got back to the flat, and I was tripping my head off. And for some reason, I thought to myself, yo, these trainers ain't comfortable enough. So I need to like wear them in. And like the flat was like really long. The hallway was like real long to the front door. And I just started, I don't know why. I was off my head. And I just started running from like the room that we were at to the fucking front door because I was trying to wear the trainers in and make them comfy. But I must have passed out at some point. And I just remember my boys, just two of them just standing over me, just like splashing water on my head, like, yo, wake up, one of these ones. So I don't even remember if it was a bad trip or not. I just remember waking up and going, yo, what the fuck? And I was like, yo, what happened? And they were like, yo, don't worry about it. So they didn't even tell me. So I'm presuming something crazy must have happened. But that's apart from that, no, I never had a bad trip.
Yeah, I don't think I ever like did anything crazy like that, like blacked out or hurt myself or anything.
Yeah.
Damn. I was going to get I went to this nice ass restaurant tripping, and that's. Do you rap about food? Do you cook or are you just a enjoyer of?
So I cook a couple things real good, but that's it. Like I know how to like make a great oxtail stew.
Okay.
I know how to make like a great beef ragu. And I know how to make a great steak, and that's about it. My girl is a great cook. So she handles all that. But I like to go out and eat. Yeah.
Do you have like
I'm
a best meal you've ever had?
boy. Nah, do you know what? Like my best meals always like one spot when I go. So I live in London now, but when I go back home to Birmingham, there's an Indian restaurant that I go to, and I order this one lamb curry that's it's not even on the menu, but that they've been cooking for me for years, and like that for me, like every time I go back to Birmingham, that's the first meal I eat. Like it's a nice fancy restaurant. I ain't even gonna say the name of the restaurant because I ain't gonna let people, I ain't gonna blow it up like that. But every time I go back, that's the spot that I go to, and I feel like that's the best meal for me over and over again.
Have you? When's the last time you've been over in America?
It was in I think 2016. Yeah, it was about 6 years ago.
That's wild.
Yeah, man. Well, so I wanted to come back. I wanted to come back to America. I was supposed to because I've done a joint with Primo recently that we're dropping in September, and me and Primo was going to get in the studio together. We had a couple of sessions booked in, and then Corona came, and that just kind of fucked it all up basically. So I
Is
didn't get
that
to come
off
out
of
there.
that? Oh wait, I have it. The White Girl Wasted album.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that I was gonna ask about like when that was.
1st of September. We just signed a deal with the distro people a couple of days ago, and
Congratulations.
thank you, bro. Yeah, we just started getting the ball rolling. We wanted like a good lead time to get everything in place and make sure we do it properly. So yeah, 1st of September that's dropping.
But you had been sitting on that for a little bit.
Yeah, I've been sitting on it for a minute, man.
Is it hard sitting on an album like that? Because the track is crazy.
Bro, do you know what? I honestly, with that album, like, because I've been doing all this other work, I kind of just forgot about it because it was finished a while back. It was finished like last year, but
Wow.
yeah. So we had the Doom verse for a minute. This was we had the Doom verse way before he passed, like good couple of years before he passed. R.I.P. Doom.
R.I.P. Doom.
So yeah, it's not been hard just having it sitting there, and because I knew that it was coming out, and I knew that it was more so we get everything right. So we're just shooting the videos right now. We're doing a video for the Madlib joint, a video for the Doom joint. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it now that we started the process, and I'm going, oh shit, this is actually going to come out, and oh shit, it's about to be on. But
yeah, how did you forgot? How did you forget about an album?
Because I just got so much other shit I'm working on, so it's just like yeah, and also like as far as like bankrolling the whole thing, like that was where a lot of just a lot of time, effort, and money has gone into. So it was kind of like.
Right,
when we do it,
worth it, yeah.
Yeah, and when we do it, and it was also, finding the money for certain things, and just all that sort of shit. It was just a different level to the rest of the shit that I'm working on.
And see, that's something that another thing I didn't realize until like starting the interviews is like it takes different projects take different time. Like you can release a bunch of projects, but have to sit on this one and work on this one perfectly to get it right. And I think that's something that I was ignorant to, but it makes sense when you really think about it, because you're going to market that one differently than something else.
Yeah, and also like, especially because a lot of my shit is like collaborations and that. Sometimes you got to fit into other people's schedules as well.
Yeah.
So. My best way of dealing with that has just been just keep working, and just in the back of your mind know that everything will come out. Like a lot of the time, especially like
we were talking about, yeah,
fully. Like a lot of the time when I'll have people go, oh, you're doing too much. Like slow down. You're putting out records too fast and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, fuck it. If the people are buying the records and they're consuming the music, and they're, why not?
That's are people actually saying that to you, or do you feel like that's just like
Yeah. I've had people who are just kind of been looking after certain situations of mine, and they've gone, no, it might be a good idea to just slow everything down, and just because the one thing we do suffer from now, with music in general, is it's easy for your shit to get skipped. Let's say a big release comes out or whatever, and
yeah.
It's because there's so much music coming out from everyone. It's easy for shit to just go under the radar, and like, especially with the white gold wasted shit. That's one thing I didn't want. I weren't going to let that happen. So that's why we've been sitting on it, waiting until we got everything right.
Get the videos, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening to my Zoom. Real quick, I'm sorry. Let me just. It's saying that it's just gonna be 1 second.
Yeah, no worries.
That's so weird. It's so fun. I haven't done a Zoom interview in so long. I've just been on the road.
Oh, really? So
yeah.
This is the 200th episode, is it?
Yeah, this is the 200th episode. I didn't.
Yeah, that's sick, man. I didn't know you'd done that many, bro.
Yeah, it's been in 2 years. I did.
Wow, you done 200 in 2 years.
Yeah, and it's funny. You want to know something totally coincidental that I just realized it like when we scheduled this, was my 100th episode was with Vic.
Oh shit. Nice.
I just thought that was like, oh, that's such a funny little coincidence. And I had done his through Zoom, but I had never, I was just out in Chicago and I finally met him in person.
Yeah, that's the homie, man. That's my guy.
What is... Sorry about this.
Yeah, don't worry, bro. I'm here. So have they made weed legal over there?
Yeah, it depends on the state, but pretty much everywhere. Yeah, you can smoke pretty much anywhere. Is it tough over there? I was just talking to like some of because Griselda was just over there, and they're saying it's a little bit stricter in the cities.
I mean, it's still illegal here, but if you just got a small bit of weed on you, no one's really gonna. No one's really gonna. If the police catch you with a small bit of weed, they either make you just destroy it in front of them, or they just take it off you.
But like you can like smoke walking down the street.
Yeah, I mean, I smoke everywhere I go, but
see, that's how I am. I just smoke, so that was like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that they ain't really. The police know what's up, innit? They ain't really trying to fucking arrest someone for a little piece of weed, but if you've got a big amount on you, then you can still get in trouble for a big amount. But I think it's like, so if you got less than about 16 plants, and you get caught doing a grow for like less than about 16 plants, you usually just get a fine and shit. It's not. It ain't like they're gonna. I mean, yeah, we've been doing that.
Hey guys, this episode is sponsored by dope rapper and good homie of mine, Fast Life Wooly, out of Philly, Pennsylvania. He actually just dropped his debut project, John the Baptist, which has some dope tracks produced by like Camouflage Monk, Nomps, some dope artists. There's 13 tracks on it. He has visuals from people like New Vegas Films. And it's really just a project worth checking out. Huey P. Art did the album cover too. You can find it wherever you go to get your music, and you can find out more about Fast Life Wooly at fastlifewoollyofficial.com. Let's get back into it.
It's just such a natural go to your phone first thing.
I just realized I was so anxious because I was like, what happened overnight that I was going to miss? Like, or what happened that like, what bad So I'm always like, all right, if I meditate first, then at least I'll be calm. For people listening, I don't know why, but my broke ass didn't pay for the Zoom bill or something. So it ended the recording early, and I had to like buy Zoom so they could let me record over an
Oh shit!
hour.
Wow.
I know, so dumb. And of course, it was right when we were talking about the white girl wasted. Like, so people listening are probably like, Sam seemed like he was having a panic attack in the last 10 minutes of that.
So
But
what does this go live live with the video as well, or it's just with the
it'll be
audio?
video and audio, but a lot of people just listen to it. But I put the
Gotcha.
video up too, on YouTube and everything. Um, but yeah, it's so that was the worst timing for it to cut out because I really am interested in that album, and we were talking about why it had like taken a little bit to come out.
Yeah.
And also just everything, every person on that album. It's just crazy that you got that all to come together. How did you link with I mean, J Electronica, MF Doom, Madlib,
Yeah. Bro, honestly, you know, it was easy. I ain't even gonna front. It was easy. It was just like, we know someone who knows everyone in it. So
yeah,
like the thing is you be in whatever industry you're in, if you be in it for 20 years, you just end up knowing someone who knows whoever you're trying to get hold of, you know what I mean?
yeah.
It wasn't really that hard getting hold of anyone. The J one was probably the most random one, because we didn't really know anyone. We weren't even trying to get Jay on there. We was trying to get someone else on there. And then when that fell through, it was like, oh, boom. And like when Purist was saying to us, like, who do you want to get on the record? Like, if you could he was saying to me, if you could pick anyone to get on this record, who would you pick? And I went, yo, I'll pick Jay Electronica, man. I didn't think we'd be able to get him. It's Jay Electronica for fuck's sake. But we already had the Doom verse. And when we did reach out to Jay and he heard the Doom verse, he was like, yo, Doom's my guy anyway. So yeah, let's do it. And yeah, it was pretty easy. Like he turned the verse in like a couple of weeks.
That's wild. Wow.
Yeah. And you hear all these stories about like
No, I want to hear what you were saying.
I mean, you hear all these stories about, I remember reading something about when Primo and Royce were trying to get the J Electronica verse, and they were saying, yo, it took a couple of years and they didn't even think they were going to get it. And then Jay rang Royce and he was like, yo, 4 or 5 in the morning, said, yo, I got your verse for you. Kicked it down the phone or whatever. And it's like, we didn't really have a problem like that. We got it from him pretty easy.
That's why. And you said you had been sitting on the Doom verse for a while, since before he had passed. Again, rest in peace.
I think the Doom verse I think was like 2019. 2019 we got the Doom verse.
That's the reason I say that again is the like waiting thing, because of course this is the perfect time. It all came together perfectly, but a lot of people would probably fumble it or rush the call and put it out on something that wasn't ready. Yeah,
I mean, the Purist is a great producer, so like between me and him, we got a lot of years in the game, so when it came down to it, we knew what we were doing.
Do you have like a grand plan after that, like, or do you just kind of like?
So I got there's 2 people who I want to go work with after I put this out, but I don't want to say it just in case it don't happen. So, but yeah, there's 2 projects that I want to do, and then. I mean, I'm just gonna carry on working, bro. I love this shit. So,
it's funny you don't want to say their names, and I'm not gonna pressure you to say it, but there's 2 schools of thought in that thing about like ruining something, about saying it into the universe, but also you hear people like say like no, like saying it manifests it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of, agree with all the manifesting shit. Say it, whatever. But I'll tell you who they are off air.
No, totally. Totally.
Yeah.
But I
just don't
do get what you mean, because I'm more in the school of thought where it's like, don't share something until it's set in stone. Because so many times I've said something and then it
Yeah.
doesn't go through, and then you just
Yeah.
sitting looking like an asset. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. I mean, yeah, no, I'm similar like that until I've got what it is. Because I was telling, like, when we secured the Doom situation, I was telling some of my boys, we got the fucking Doom verse, and they were looking at me crazy, like, you ain't got it yet, like, you ain't gonna get the Doom verse, like, you're nice and all that, but you ain't gonna get the Doom verse. And then when it came in, but I learned my lesson from that, like, keep the shit to yourself until you got it there. Keep it to yourself, you know what I mean? Because don't nobody want to hear what you're gonna do.
Yeah. How do you, I totally agree with, how do you feel like, so you were saying that, like, people are like, that's not going to happen. And then and I don't mean to like harp on it, but you were saying like people like were saying, oh, you're releasing too much music. How do you keep in your own lane? Like, how do you keep straight? Like, no, I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm on my right path.
I'll tell you how, because when I make songs, I regularly get that feeling of, oh, this is nice. And if I feel like that, other people are going to feel like that. You know what I mean? Or even when I write a verse, I don't even have to have made the song yet. I write a lot, and so like I regularly look at the verse and go, shit, where the fuck did that? Sometimes you just catch the fucking Holy Spirit in it. You don't even know how it happened. You just and when that happens for me, I know when it happens, and I look at the joy, and I go, that shit's fire. And if it makes me feel like that, I know it's going to make, the people who buy my records feel the same.
Do you say you write a lot? Do you wait for the feeling to write to come to you, or do you force yourself to sit down and write?
Well, because I'm making projects all the time, I've got new beats all the time. Either I've made them or people be sending me shit. Like, I must have about like maybe about 15 projects that I'm sitting on that are pretty much finished.
You say 15?
15. I'll probably I'm just being conservative with you, bro. Probably more. I can tell you a list right now. Full projects. Full projects that I'm just sitting on, because I just, and it's not even like I'll be in the studio all day long. This shit, you do it so much that it just becomes bread and butter. It just becomes like really easy, you know what I mean?
Are those projects, are some of them never going to see the light of day?
Nah, so this one thing, I don't start projects unless I know we're going to do this for real. It's all with people who are, active themselves. And I'm not one of these guys who start a project and then it won't come out. Like, the shit might take 2-3 years, whatever. But I always finish, like, I would say 95% of the shit that I take on, I'll finish it and see it through and make sure it sees the light of day.
What? Like, I like 15 projects though. Like, would you do like a project a month? Like, what's the time frame?
See, that's when, coming back to, like we were saying, people be telling me to slow down, and that's part of the reason, because they're like, like, when's it gonna stop? But I don't think it needs to stop.
No, that's why I was asking if you have a plan, because like, I don't know if you know.
I have a loose plan. Yeah. I have a loose plan, but
the rapper Flea Lord put out like 12 a project a month for a year, and like, I respected that heavy, and a lot of those projects all those projects are amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's especially in the game now, people are just releasing a lot of music, so you got to kind of keep up with the wave as well. Don't nobody want to hear you just put out one album. Actually, maybe I'm wrong. Look at Kendrick. Who knows?
Yeah. Did you listen to that project?
I haven't got to listening to it yet, but the reason I haven't, I just been swamped in the last couple of weeks, and I feel like with that project, I want to sit down and listen to it properly from start to finish.
Yeah,
You know,
that's how you have to do it. And I really enjoyed it when I did that. There's a couple songs I go back and play a lot, but it was more just like as a piece. I really liked it.
yeah. I feel like that kind of it probably deserves its own,
Yeah.
just for me to sit down and like absorb it like that. But yeah, I don't really be listening to too much music like that anymore. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like if I do listen to it, I've got to listen to that, and I've got to listen to the new Pusha T. I haven't peeped that one yet.
So what you don't listen at all, or do you? It's just kind of like that's the work side of it. Like, do you not listen to rap or?
I mean, no, I don't really listen to much anymore because the only time when I really listen to music is if I'm in the car. That's otherwise when I'm at the crib, like my girl just has a TV on, so I don't really listen to music.
Yeah.
I got a studio at the crib, but if I'm in the studio, I'm in the studio working. So
yeah,
I don't really listen to much. I mostly listen to music when people be around the studio and they just be showing me new shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. How did you get linked up? Because you worked a lot with you had another album that's not on streaming is the one with Camo Monk that I love.
Yeah.
Green leather, money leather sofa. I loved that project.
Yeah, do you know what? We just put the wax out with Tough Kong for that.
I saw that, but I was wondering. That's such a great project.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, yeah. You know what? It was on streaming services.
It was. I know. I used to bump White like Kate Moss. That was one of my top played songs, I think, that year.
Yeah, now you know what? Yeah. So with that, funnily enough, I hit Monk up recently, and I was like, "Yo, we need to fix up some of the corrections on Spotify and all that." And then next thing I knew, it was taken off there. So I need to get back up with him and find out what's good with that.
Did you link up with the Buffalo rappers just through Dope? Because you said you got the West Side, and then you had that Conway project.
Yeah, the Conway shit was through Dope. It was actually the Conway joint was through Dope. More so with the Camouflage Monk one. I think we was just talking, online, and that's how that one popped off. But yeah.
It's funny that you said you hadn't been to America since like 2016, I think you said, because I feel like you've gotten a lot done just through whether it be social media or like contact. That's wild, the amount of work you've been able to put in.
Yeah, I mean, now, especially like more recently, when people come over here, they hit me up. So I get a lot of like American guys,
Yeah, you're about to do the show with Rome, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to do some music with him as well. I've been meaning to send him a pack. I just haven't got around to it yet. But yeah, I'm doing a show with him in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
He's a great he's a great guy. Big psychedelic guy too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's from England originally, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah. I'm very sure he's originally from England. Then he moved to the States or something. Because that's what someone was telling me.
That's wild.
Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what someone was telling me. Yeah.
I was at the festival I was just at. You were saying shows. Wiki was supposed to be there. Wiki was there, but I don't know if because of rain, but they canceled his performance.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, I just done a show with Wiki. I think it's like a month and a half ago now. We done a show with Wiki at a place out here in Camden called Jazz Cafe.
Yeah.
It was dope. He killed it. He's dope, man.
Is there a good scene out there that you can like thrive and do enough?
There is, but if it's like strictly rap, no, not really. But if you're like, you make like all sorts of genres of music and like you do a bit of UK rap as well, then yeah, then there's like a big scene, then there's a big platform. But if it's like
What do
to
you mean
kind of
like UK rap? I don't mean to like.
so it's like this, or like a lot of the artists who, so there's like some big artists popping in England, and they're rappers, and they do, if you look at their album, they'll have a few rap tunes on there, but then they'll also have like a grime tune on there, or a couple of grime tunes on there, or like some bashment tunes or some Afro beat or whatever. But with the type of shit we do, it's just straight like 10 songs of rap music, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where the difference is.
No, I
think
do. I hear what you mean, because I think when I listen to some of those artists, I don't want to like name names to offend,
Yeah.
like, but it is like, oh, this is like half of this is trying to be like commercial to a point
Yeah.
that it's like not real anymore.
Yeah. I mean, some of it's super real, but it's just still trying to be commercial as well. You know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, it's a weird one, but for the sort of rap that I do, and the sort of this sort of sound and this bag, it's it's not the shows are maybe 500 capacity, 1,000 maybe max, for they're there for like
Would you ever come to a tour over here?
Yeah, of course, bro. I'm hoping that once I put out the White Girl Wasted shit, I mean, I'm gonna come over there anyway. Before the end of the year, I think maybe like September time.
Okay, yeah, because that's when the album releases.
Yeah, so as soon as the album's dropped, I'm trying to come over there, and just do some shows, and also just do a bunch of. I want to go up to like all the radio joints. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's one thing I really want to do, because that's what I do in it, and that's what I prefer doing, all that shit. So like I do shows and all that shit, but I prefer doing all these radio joints and just going up there and just bars. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So I'm really trying to just come out there and do a bunch of that shit.
Where do you think your ideas come from? This is like, you're a very. Where do you think your idea? I won't explain it any more than that.
Yeah. That's a mad question, man. I like language, and I like, just that there's probably like a word for like the study of language, but I like, just just like language, and like a lot of the shit, just and also like I've been a big hip hop fan from days. You know what I mean? It's all, when I was a kid growing up, that's all I listened to really. I went maybe a bit of garage or whatever, but apart from that, I just used to listen to just hip hop. You know what I mean? And like I was a dedicated fan for a long time, man.
But I feel like you have a different grasp of whether it be words or a language. You said you had a love for it. Was that something since you were little, or is that something that you found like through writing? Or
no, it was even when I was at school, I was like, I was really bad at everything, but when it comes to like English language, I was a beast. I was getting, like, I was failing at everything else, but I was getting straight A's when it came to English. Like I was just, I think I was just good at it. And if you're good at something and you find it easy, you kind of excel more in it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, but as far as like where my ideas come from, I'm not really sure. I never really thought about that before. I'm not really sure where the shit comes from, bro. I feel like the shit is just
right.
Huh?
It's weird though.
It's real weird, man. I feel the shit's just kind of at this point ingrained in me. Like, I won't even be. Even if I got nothing to write, rhymes will just come to my mind. You know what I mean? Like, and also like a lot of the time, I'll be just living normal life and just see something that it's like, I like that. I'm gonna reference that, or I like the sound of that, or I like that word, or I like that little phrase, I like that saying. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, I do. Every time I got some ideas, I write them down on the phone. So when it comes to go write a verse, a lot of the time I just have a load of ammo already there. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm constantly not deliberately thinking of ideas. The shit is just coming to me in it.
Were you always that way? Like when you were a kid, when you loved rap, were you rhyming? Was your brain like, did that how your brain worked?
So the first I used to like make little demos or whatever with my boys and that, but we weren't really. The first time I knew that I could rhyme was, I was just telling someone the story the other day. You heard of a rapper out here called Skinny Man?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, so Skinny Man, he was on an album. He did a feature on an album with an album called by two artists called Mark B and Blade. Rest in peace, Mark B. It was Mark B and Blade. I think the album was called Unknown, and Skinny had a verse on there, and I would rap his verse word for word, and I was like, man, if I know this shit word for word, I could just change the words and have my own verse. Do you know what I mean? And really, it was from there that I was probably about 16 or something like that. You know, we used to freestyle and shit when we were kids all the time, whatever. But when I, thought, oh yeah, I can try this for myself, and that's where it came from. Really, I just used to know that verse word for word, and I just switched it out with my own words, and that was it, really.
Do you think you found being like a rapper artist, or do you think you were born into it and it was like a predetermined thing that you were going to find?
It's hard to say, man. I mean, the cool story would be like, yeah, I was born into it, but it's shit.
I don't know if you how do you feel about that? Like, do you?
I don't know. I don't think I was born into it because, like, no one, even like around me, no one was trying to be a rapper. No one was trying to like do music. Like, I didn't have anyone around me who did music. Even when I was like, when I got into doing all like shit that you do when you're a young man and that, like I was going out. We were going to like house raves. We weren't going to like hip hop shows.
Mm-hmm.
We were just getting mashed every weekend, going to house raves and like. That's the scene that I was in. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like we was even trying to do this. So,
but I mean, in a spiritual way.
I think so.
Are you spiritual? Are you like?
You know what? I'm trying to be. You know what? I'm trying to be because everyone around me is trying to be mad spiritual now, and I realize
That's mad funny. Everyone around me is trying to be mad spiritual is very true. I think that.
Yeah. Like I'm not even cussing spirituality, but it's a trend now, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be spiritual. It's a trend. It's a great trend. It can't, it's a good thing for people to.
No, you're right. You're 100% right. Yeah.
But
so if you don't feel it, you shouldn't force yourself into it.
No. You know what? My girl's mad spiritual, and so she there's all sorts of crystals and shit in my house, bro. But
yeah. Well,
but
we're talking about the DMT thing, like the shaman, and the year after it, I became very like trying to figure it out, and then it kind of fades away, and you realize what really comes from it, instead of just the like. To me, I thought I met Buddha, like Buddha told me to start the podcast.
Yeah. No, do you know what? Like, there's some great things that you can get out of spirituality. Like, it's a great way of being and all that. But I just find that some people who kind of like veer too much on the whole spiritual side lose touch with the reality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think you have to be into, because when I think about life, I could be like, when I look back, there's a lot of paths that have led me to this point, and everything paid off. So I'm like, there has to be some divine plan that got me to this point. But on the other hand, you're a combination of everything that happens to you, just realistically. So if all these things happen to you, of course, that's going to culminate into who you are.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's a mix of the two. I was with a friend of mine the other day, and we make a lot of music together. And he was just saying, like, we were talking about like a similar thing, spirituality, and like, he was going, "Oh, it's crazy that we've been placed on this earth at this same, like, look how many years there are, and there are going to be on the earth, yeah." And it was like something has put us together at this sort of time to make this sort of music, be living the same sort of decade. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
put us on the same paths. And but then it can't all be just random happenings. But then also, like, I don't really like to read into stuff that I can't have as facts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Smoke Dizza had a bar recently, and I'm gonna butcher it, but the sentiment was beautiful. Or it was like, once you stop trying to figure life out, it starts happening for you.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think
yeah,
that's something because I'm 24 years old, so I have the like young 20s ego where it's like I want to know. I think I know everything, especially when shit starts going like well. But then I realize, oh no, that's holding me back, because if I really just become a real student to the universe, that's when I'll actually learn.
yeah, bro. I think I think, bro. I think that's very true. I think that's very true. Like, when you're worrying about, but also, like, when you're young and shit, you're trying to figure it all out, and you're trying to figure it all out fast. The older I get, the more I will say, like, there ain't no rush for nothing. Like, I feel like for me in my career, it would have been nicer if, I would be at this stage 10 years ago. But then also 10 years ago, I weren't moving like this. I was a different person. So, you got to just be appreciative for what it is now. You know what I mean? Like, all
Yeah.
the shit that I learned over all this time, I'm happy to be here and like have. If I was in this situation 10 years ago, I would have fucked it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like the years are the years. Like, when you're young, when you're 24, you're good, man. Like, you got all this time to figure shit out. Like,
Yeah, but also you want, I totally, but then in my mind, I'm the like, no, it's happened, like, I gotta make it happen tomorrow type shit.
bro, do you know what? That's still a great attitude to have, though, because look, you're on your fucking 200th podcast in 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, just by the numbers of how many, that's insane in itself. You know what I mean?
It's funny
How
though,
many,
because
how many
I
do you
feel
do,
like
do you, how many do you do a week? Like, what's the numbers like?
I started off with one a week, and
Yeah,
then I did 3 a week for over a year.
that's a lot, man.
And now, because now that the world's opening back up and I've been able to go on tour with stand up, I do 2 a week, and then I do stand up on top of that. But I feel lazy doing 2 a week sometimes.
Really?
But see, you have 15. You're sitting on conservatively 15 albums. So like,
Yeah,
we're in the
bro. But
same
like, see,
boat.
you're doing the shit because you enjoy the shit in it. Same as me in it. I just enjoy
Yeah.
doing the shit. Like, I never force it. I don't, just when it is what it is. Just like, bro, you're having fun doing it. You know what I mean? That's the main thing. That's the main thing for me when I make music.
Yeah, because we're talking about, and it keeps going full circle, but we're talking about the blind faith and how that got you to where you are now.
Yeah.
But it's funny because once you get to, for me, it's like I get to this point and it's like, well, let me start changing, even though I know the formula that works.
What do you want to change up?
It's so fun. I want to get big, you know, like I want to make more money. I want to get big. I want to like, if we're being honest, like a lot of my money goes to me traveling. So like I
Yeah.
spend a lot of money like in hotels on the road. So like this is like my mom's apartment. Like I'm in my
Yeah.
mom's apartment right now.
I hear you.
And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like for people, it's so funny when people come up to me and say like, "Oh, I love what you're doing," or "Oh, you inspired me," because it's like I'm still living out of my mom's apartment type shit. It's not.
yeah.
I need to get to past that point. That's
Bro,
why.
so you know what's crazy? Like the thing is that whatever level we all get on, we're all chasing the next thing. Like when people come up to me and then they say similar shit, oh, you inspire me, you're doing blah blah whatever. All I'm thinking is, man, I need to be up there. I'm like not anywhere where I need to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think when you're chasing something, you're just chasing it forever. Like until
And
you
you got to
become
enjoy
like,
the chase. Yeah.
you know what I mean? You're just chasing it forever because there is no like, and only a certain amount of people get to really be at the top. So I feel like if you're in the arts, whatever it is, you're chasing it forever, man.
And it is the double-edged sword because if you were content with what you're doing, you wouldn't want to grow. But if
Yeah.
But if you're too hard on what you're doing, then you never want to put it out. So you have to find that like fine line.
Well, bro, there's a I don't know if you heard the project I've done with Buckwild.
Yes. Shout out Buck Wild. He's
Yeah, shout out Buckwild.
yeah. He just followed me on Instagram. I was very honored.
Yeah, he's a G, man. I can't sing his praises enough, man. It's been great working with him, man. We just started volume 2.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we're like 2 songs into volume 2.
I loved the artwork that you had for the repress of it, that painting.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a girl who I'd been speaking to for a while about doing some sort of artwork, and when because what happened with that was there was some sort of drama with the first cover, so we had to get a second cover, and that's why we had to do that. So for the vinyl, we've been speaking about doing something for a while, and I thought, yeah, that was a perfect one, man. So she done an oil painting of that. But yeah, we just done 2 songs for the Buckwild shit. But what I was saying, lost my train of thought. On that album, there's a song called "The Process," and featuring Lord Apex. Shout out to Apex. It's got some American, I think it's American footballer or something, some sort of sports player talking about he's learned to like enjoy the process more than the end result. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the process of doing whatever you're doing, as long as you enjoy that more than whatever the end result may be, you never really get disappointed.
And it's true, and I think that's something I try to learn with everything in life is there's never an end goal to anything. There's never like, whether it be like self-help, like the reason I meditate, or like whether it be like dieting, trying to be healthy, or whether work or anything. It's like you have to pick something that you enjoy the process, not just like let me hope to get to the end goal.
Yeah, well, because then the thing is, once you get to the end goal, then what?
Exactly. Yeah, but then you're like everything that happens, you're like, well, what's the next thing?
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. That's it. Like, bro, I used to think, if once I got a tune with Primo, I'm good. but I ain't looking at it like that now. Like that's just another brick in the wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, shit. The reason I started this podcast, like, not a big influence to me, was a conversation I had with Conway back in like 2017. And I didn't know how it was going to culminate, whatever. And when I had Conway on the podcast, he used a clip of our podcast in a song and gave me like official credits. So like sick. I'm like an official feature on a Conway track. And to me, I couldn't even imagine that happening. Yeah, but now sick, it's man. Like, All right, but you know what I mean, though? It's like
Yeah, I hear
I
you.
thought
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
gonna be the end goal, but no, because it's not. I think in the end, and I was saying this in an interview, is like I want to be undeniable.
yeah, yeah.
Like in
That's
the
it.
end, that's all I want is that no one can say that I didn't do it the right way.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That yo, bro, that's a great mindset to have, man. I fuck with that. I fuck with that.
What are you smoking a joint or what do you roll up?
I was smoking a backwood before. I had like we were shooting a video the other day, and we were shooting in some cigar shop, and I got some backwoods from there because we don't really have backwoods out here
Oh,
like that.
that's so funny. I was about to be like, yeah, backwoods are you can get that anywhere here.
Yeah, we don't have backwoods out here, so like I don't really smoke backwoods, but I was in the cigar shop, so I was like, I copped some of them, but I'm smoking
How much was the pack of backwood?
20 pounds, so that's like $35 or some shit.
Yeah, that for a
Yeah,
pack.
for five. Yeah, crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but now I'm just smoking on some it's just some Kush, man. Just got little Amazon Kush. But
Nice.
yeah, I usually just smoke joints, you know.
I just smoke. I used to I used to smoke 10 backwoods a day. Like I used to be
Okay.
crazy. So I'm no blunt wraps. I just smoke papers.
Yeah, we don't really smoke blunt wraps out here. Like the blunt wraps you can get here in the normal shops, you can buy them like by the singles, but they're shit, man. They're crap. They're just like they're not even real blunts. They're like some machine manufactured shit. It's not even proper tobacco leaf. So yeah, we don't really smoke blunts like that out here.
It's so funny because I think I got like you get like certain how my view of weed is out there is probably very different than what it actually is.
Oh, we get good weed out here, bro. We get really good weed. Yeah. Yeah. Why? What do you think weed is like out
I don't
here?
know. This is so dumb, but whenever I've gone to Europe, I've always had trash weed. It's always been trash.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
almost got arrested in Barcelona twice for fucking. I tried sneaking weed into Sagrada Familia, which was just not a good.
yeah. I've been to Sagrada Familia. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't like me for that.
Yeah, do you know what? Like, because it's at the end of the day, because it's illegal, you still got to know the plug. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it's different out. You know, you were saying it's legalized there, and you know, but once you're like in the weed network, yo, bro, we get some great bud out here.
you think it'll ever become legalized? Like, do you see a lane of dispensaries or?
Shit, I don't know, man. I mean, I hope so. I hope so. You know, now like you can get it. You like they are prescribing it medically here. You
Yeah,
know, people who actually need it like that, and they're giving out more and more medical cards. I got a few people who got a couple of the medical cards. So yeah, they are, but you know, England's a weird place like that. You know what I mean? There's all sorts of reasons why they ain't trying to. I'm sure that like some of the people. I'm not really into politics like that, but there's some people who. Do you know about Theresa May? She used to be she used to be I think her husband or whatever. He's got a hand in like the legal grow, for like you know when they do experiments and all that shit, and that's why they're growing. So like people like that, they're just making it hard for like people like us who just want to smoke in it. It's a vested interest for them to just keep it locked and just make loads of money off their business at the moment rather than make it available to the masses. So fuck knows, bro. I hope it does, but
well,
also
that's the
like
thing is the thing when it got legal over here, the prices skyrocketed because then the government had a hand in like
how much you
controlling
get an ounce for there?
Well, see, that's the thing. If you get an ounce from a dispensary, it's like $400 fucking dollars.
Yeah, it's a similar sort of price here.
But see, you can get good price. I mean, exotic. Like you can get street for like 200 to 250.
Okay, yeah. You know what? They don't call it exotic over here. You know what they call it?
What?
Cali. Exotic is just called Cali.
Oh, really? That's so fun.
Yeah. So really, you either got shit that's grown here or you got Cali. You
Is
know
it
what I mean?
expensive? Because it does have to.
Bro, there's prices of Cali is fucking crazy. Like, Cali maybe on like, on a street level, if you're not tapped in, it'll cost you maybe about £400 an ounce, and that's
God.
like $800.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Crazy,
Yeah, that's crazy.
crazy. I mean, where we are, we pay probably about, £180. So that's maybe what, $300?
Yeah.
Three fifty. Yeah, $350. That's how much an ounce will cost you if you just, if you know a plug.
Yeah. Still expensive though.
Yeah, man. Especially if you smoke a lot.
That's how I mean, I'm how much would you say you smoke?
Shit, if it's just if I'm busy and like I'm doing things, I might just smoke like 5 grams a day. 5 grams maybe. But if I'm like having a session or I'm in the studio and I'm with a bunch of people, I could smoke like a half ounce in a day or two.
Yeah. I'm at the same thing. Yeah, probably like an eighth to 5 grams normal. And then I
Yeah.
can go, shit, if I'm at a show or something, it'll be wild.
Yeah.
We're at a 38 special. My boy and I rolled up an ounce into 26 joints and we smoked the whole thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like smoking fat joints in it. I don't really like smoking skinnies, so I don't know, maybe like 3 grams a spliff. That get me right.
You had the torch. Do you dab?
I do dab, yeah. I got a normal lighter here as well. I got a normal lighter here, but it don't work too well. So
I just picked up some new. It's funny. I'll end on this because we have been, but I have my. I just won this bong. It was signed by DJ Muggs. I got to like.
Wow.
But I don't want to smoke out of it. It's a beautiful bong. But
man. How did you win that?
Well, it was mad funny. I was invited as like a guest to this dispensary opening that he was going to be at. And then I go up and he knew who I was, which was like, that was one of the crazy, like, I love Muggs. And for him to be like,
sick.
He knew me. He was like, oh shit, you're the comedian with the podcast. It was like, oh, what the hell? And then because I went in, they gave me a free ticket. Like to the raffle, and I won the bong in the raffle, even though I was
that's sick.
Also a guest to it.
Yeah, no, you got to bless that bong, man.
Exactly.
You gotta bless it. You gotta bless it, man.
But man, thank you for doing this. This was awesome being able to talk.
Bro. Thank you for having me on the show, man.
It's as you can see, it's not like a normal. It's just a chill conversation. And when you come over here, we gotta smoke.
Yo, for sure. So where you? You're in Massachusetts?
I'm in Massachusetts, but my podcast studio is in New York City. And I can't, maybe I can. Oh, this is so funny. I've never done this before. This is my whole podcast setup. So literally, I can literally travel.
Yeah.
I travel I just flew to Miami and Philly and DC. I did Chicago, and I did podcasts everywhere. Yeah,
bro. So when I come out there, I'm gonna definitely be in New York, man. It's gonna be like September time. But I got your email now. I'll hit you back online. We'll exchange.
And I'm not gonna ruin, because again, I don't want to say it and then it fall through. But I might be doing a tour of Europe. So if I'm in London, I'll definitely hit you up.
What's that, comedy or podcast?
It's going to be a rap tour that I'm doing comedy on. And
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. If you're in London, definitely shout me.
I 100% will. But September 1st is where you can get White Girl Wasted. Is that your next release?
September 1st.
Is that your next release?
No. So before that, I got I did No Visible Means of Income with Giallo Point. So I got volume 2 coming out of that.
Oh wow, I loved the first one.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Yeah, that's coming out. I just spoke to Tough Kong about 10 minutes before we hopped on this podcast, and we were just fixing up a date, but it'll probably be like end of June, start of July.
Okay. Wow.
With some vinyl.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. So just staying busy. But yeah, bro, if you're in London, you shout me, and appreciate you having me on the podcast, man.
Of course. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you later.
Peace.
Peace.